Mark Shapiro addressed the media earlier today regarding the finish to the 2023 season and finally gave some clear insight on how management and players are feeling after their quick exit. Here's everything you need to know. For starters, Shapiro guaranteed that Atkins would remain as a GM in 2024. Something that has come to no shock to most fans, although he did say that Ross needs to get better, mainly in communication and transparency. Something that was definitely apparent after last week's press conference when Ross made it seem that when Schneider was coming out to take Barrios, that he was in total shock and had no idea this was going to happen, thus creating outrage among the media. But today, Shapiro was able to clear the air and say that they did know it was in the game card, they just didn't know if it was going to be put in place the second or third time through the order. I just wish we had heard from Shapiro last week, because let's be honest, Ross is just nowhere close to the same level as public speaking as him. And if we had heard from Shapiro first, then I think the Jays world wouldn't feel like it's crumbling to the ground as much as it has seemed. So that was definitely a positive take from the press conference. However, there was one part of it that I wasn't necessarily sold on, that being the relationship between the club and players are good. That statement was a little questionable to me because after the game, it didn't feel like the players were happy. Vladdy stated everybody was surprised with the decision. Bo said, "We have all the trust in the world in Kikuchi, but to see someone rolling like that, the way he was pitching, I think he deserves some trust in the biggest moments." And now the guy who probably ripped the Jays apart the most, Whit Merrifield, who said, "I hated it, frankly." He's not coming back next year, so it's no surprise that he actually told everyone how he felt. But that also means the players previously mentioned, who just acted like they were confused, were actually pissed. And having your players mad at you is not going to go over well in trying to retain them once they hit free agency and in recruiting players to come to Toronto. Because guys talk. A free agent may hit up one of his friends on the team and say, "Hey, I've seen everything going on with the organization. Do you still think I should check them out or stay away?" To which they'd probably say more negatives than positives given how the season ended. And how do you think Barrios feels? After the game, all he said was, "Honestly, I don't know." I can't possibly see a world in which Barrios can go out there and fight for this management because when he was dealing like he was in that game, he was pulled. That doesn't strike any vote of confidence from the men upstairs. And we've already seen how detrimental a bad mindset from Barrios can look like when his early struggles in 2022 stayed for the whole season. That to me is what I'm most interested in, because if the relationship between the front office and players are truly good like he said, then great. But to me, I just don't see how that could be the case given what they were saying about the Barrios decision just last week. And the fact that the only man speaking his true opinion is the one not under contract in 2024.